Hello there, and welcome to the channel. 2020 is soon to be over, and if you are just like me, thank God it is soon to be over. Christmas is just around the corner, and so is New Year's Eve, and there is nothing more than I want to end this year. But we're not going to talk about all the bad things that have happened, because there is going to be a change. Stick around to the end, and you will actually hear it. And I think it's gonna be worth it. So stay around. But first of all, let's just go through what is happening during this year. I mean, again, 2020 has been horrible with all the things that we know, and we're not gonna go through all the bad things because you already know them. And there's no point of me talking about all the bad things because it happens to you too. Why do I not talk about the bad things? Instead, there is so much good that has actually been happening. I mean, creatively, it has. Yes, we've been locked in for the most of the time, but I have never done so much jobs for animation and animatics that I have done for this year since I've done any other year. I mean, it's taken me 2 years to do Eva, for example, which is all traditional animation, hand-drawn, hand-painted, cells and all that, and that took me 2 years to finish. For animations that I've done this year, for example, I've been showing up more and more rough animation which people seem to enjoy, which I'm very thankful for. The same thing has been for animatics and animatics idea, which I've been a little bit iffy on before, but I consider that to be a really good entryway to doing storyboards or to do the means of inspiration for songs and so forth. And I've used that for doing for another hobby which I've not been ashamed of talking about. I've talked about this before, but D&D, for instance, has been a lot of inspiration for me this year as well. We have been playing a lot of D&D since many people are now free and has gotten the time to actually play them. We have created a lot of characters. I've taken my time to do as well, go on Instagram as well. There will be a link below to where to find me on this one. But 2020 has been tough, but it's also been the most creative years of my life because nothing has stopped me from being like, oh, I should go to work. I don't have work. Oh, I should do this, do that. Nah, just do your art. So, in the end, 2020 has been tough, but it's also been a really creative years for me. And I like to keep that somehow going. And this is what's gonna kind of change a little bit. I finally have a direction to where I want to go. And before I start talking about it, I need to actually mention where this all started. I've always wanted to kind of understand where I want to go with this channel. Just jumped around a little bit on the thought that, oh, it's just going to be animation, or it may be me talking, or I may be doing lectures. Instead of thinking of right now has been, oh, what do I really want this to be? So I started looking for one single word, and it's been creativity. Creativity is something that I generally believe in. It's something that I know everyone has. And even though it hasn't specifically been for animation or art or to for painting, so that's those sort of things. Instead, I thought, let me find a word that can boost me, that can make me understand what creativity is for me. And I found it. There was a TED Talk. I actually recommend this. Go over it. I mean, TED Talk is a really inspiring thing. It's many people talk, and it was Kermit the Frog talking about creativity, and I immediately thought, oh, I gotta see this because I love the Muppets. I love them a lot because I saw them as a kid, and in the end, as they were talking, it came up a phrase on it which really symbolized what I think creativity is and why I do just 2D animation, classical 2D animation with pen and paper. and hardly do anything digital. I mean, I do it nowadays just to get a little bit hands-on because it's interesting for me. It's another way to work on it. But they said a very good word. I recommend you actually watch the whole thing. They said, Kermit the Frog said, creativity is something that you cannot not do. Which I thought was amazing. That's a perfect word. And I really connected with that, and it was amazing. Because, yeah, creativity is something that we cannot not do. It's a day we cannot just go, I won't do it today. Or it will not even strike my mind to do anything of that. Even though you probably don't do animation, even though you don't do painting and arts. Though creativity comes, when people think of creativity, that's the sort of thing they go to. But that's hardly not the point in this matter. For me, creativity for that wording was so perfect because, yeah, it is something that I cannot not do. I will wake up each and every morning and feeling like, oh, I need to do something. Or I have this idea deep in my head that I need to do. And it's amazing each and every time. And it's therapeutic every single time. And that is what I want this channel to be. I get really like hyped about this. Need to calm myself down with a cup of coffee because that's gonna help. Oh, delicious. No, but creativity, to go back to that, to take something and to do something is what I've always done. It doesn't stop me. Even though it's pen and paper, I've always done something. I don't have the best technology. I do not have Photoshop. I do not have all the like editing software that many people have, because the money doesn't exist, or I don't think that getting it down will actually improve my arts. It will not make it better. And why I don't do digital is because I've been traditional artist ever since I was a kid. And why go to something new when I know I'm better at this? Why I do traditional old school classical 2D animation with pen and paper is because I'm mostly comfortable with it. And it's mostly because it's so rewarding. 2D animation will be rewarding. If you look at, I was just looking a long time ago about all the different sort of things from Disney animation, from Don Bluth animation, and it just inspired me so a lot, because all of a sudden when you go through each and everything, each and every frame in an animation, you know there's actually people who've been sitting there. I don't get the same feeling when it comes to 3D animation. I get the same feeling when 2D animation is digital. That's what I really enjoy as well, because it's also done by hand. But 3D animation kind of like, it becomes a little bit more like, oh, look how realistic we can make this model. Yeah, that's not the point though. The point is to tell a story. And 2D animation is kind of like, we're gonna tell a story, we're gonna use simple means. We need to use pen and paper. I'm using pen and paper to tell a story, to tell the creativity, and that all comes through the head. There is no program apart from me, apart from my head. And again, you can also say that to anything. I mean, even if I put on the computer, it will not create animation just so I turn it on. No, I have to do something. But classical 2D animation is that you don't have to render. Will be no problem. There will be no electrical issue. There will be no save file error. No, it's pen and paper. Starting up. Beep. Oh, here we go. And that's what I enjoy about it. But that's my defense to 2D animation. I'm off track. I'm sorry. In the end, I'm thinking next year, the year that's gonna come, we're gonna talk a lot about creativity and how different people see creativity in their world, and to use art, animation and animatics as a tool. So I'm going to have sort of like lectures. I mean, not lectures. It's gonna me being very positive to certain animation that brings me inspiration, that I hope I can share with you, that brings you inspiration. And the thing that I really want to do is not to steal their ideas, is to take that idea, mend it a little bit, and make it my own. It's to take an idea how they paint and how they animate, and take that and use that to my own stories. Everything that I will do, I will people. Yeah, I'm gonna go off track again, so bear with me. But people sometimes come up and say, "Oh, we don't want to copy art, and you have stolen this from another artist." Well, there is a double-edged sword. You should not steal from another artist. Absolutely not. You should not claim an art piece and tell it it's yours. But what you can do is what I always do, is that I find inspiration from something and I do my own, but I always tell the people where I got it from. I always tell people where they can find it. It's a sort of source information. Look at where it came from. And I've always been like endorsed of that. So if I'm going to introduce an animatic or introduce an animation that I feel inspired by, I'm gonna tell you where it comes from. If I'm using a music piece, if you have seen my animatics, there will be a description where you can find the music and where you can search for them. There will, I don't think there is a hot link to it that you can just press on, but you can go and search for them yourself, and you can absolutely, with no hesitation of a doubt, go and subscribe to them and like their music and create something your own. For me, and for me specifically, I will never try to steal, but what I will do, and what I will, you can take this and go to the bank with this, is to say that Don Bluth said, monkey see, monkey do. To get better at something, you have to look at something, get inspired, get creative by it, and you have to see something, get inspired by it, and then be creative by your own. That's the point. That's what I'm gonna try to do next year, because I do a lot of promises, and again, I have to tell, I am on my own doing this. This is me. There is no one else. This is also why I've done a lot of live shows on Facebook. I've done it on Instagram. I'm probably gonna go on Twitch as well. You're gonna know this. You're gonna see it as well. But in the end, it's all about that's a sort of happy coincidence that, oh, I don't have to edit. I just talk, which again, you can see, it's not the best thing. In any case, what I generally always believe in is creativity, and that's where I want to go with this channel. Where I hope to go is to get you inspired and create your own. Look at the videos that I have done before. You don't have to like them. You watching them, it's all I need to know that people are actually watching them. But if you do find some inspiration, I mean, again, I would love people to share their inspiration. I always go through my inbox to see if some people have said something, and I always enjoy it. But yeah, so 2020, tough but creative, in the creative space, sort of, I think. So 2021 will be a whole nother aspect to this. I finally found what I kind of want to do. If people like it, then they like it. I hope they do. And yeah, that's it. But hey, I think you have reached the end of this video. It has taken me 85 turns to do this. Congratulations, have yourself a cup of coffee. It's really early. No, it's not early in the morning, it's midday, but I woke up like, I don't know, 2 hours ago. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here, and you can also somewhere, I think there, you can like my channel. Also, you can watch these ones to see both my animatics and to see my rough animation. Until next time, stay creative, keep on drawing, love one another, and I'll see you all next time. Happy 2021.